everyone, welcome to Ask Me Monday number 29. I am Vickie Howell and I am here by the skin of my teeth today. Holy Mary, Mother of Craft. We've got my plate overflow today. We are launching tomorrow. I'm thrilled to announce that we're launching my podcast tomorrow, finally, Craftish. So we're kind of running around getting things edited and graphics made, and I'm kind of a one-woman operation here as far as broadcasting goes, so I'm hustling to get stuff together, and my husband's editing, and then I'm creating graphics, and I'm working with my web designer Jenny, who's making sure that you'll be able to get all the show notes so that you have all the info for our great guests by tomorrow. So, and also I have like 14 other things due. So thanks for being here. Sorry if I'm a little frazzled, but let's talk Craftish really quickly because I'm super excited about that. We are launching tomorrow, as I said, and you can find it on iTunes, on Stitcher, on SoundCloud. I'm even throwing up the audio on YouTube. Wherever you want to listen to your podcasts, or wherever you do listen to your podcasts, I think that we've covered it. Android as well. I personally have an iPhone, so I have the podcast app on my phone, so that's where I would grab it from. But you can even just go to my website, vickiehowell.com/craftish, and you can also just listen to it straight from there. And that's where all the show notes will be, sponsor information. If you are a small business or a bigger business interested in sponsoring an episode, and it does not need to just be knitting or crochet, because this podcast is not just for knitters and crocheters. In fact, that represents only a small portion of what we're going to be sharing with you. This podcast is really about linking creative types together. It's about the ethos of creativity. It's about making a creative living and just living creatively. So I'll be talking to everyone over the course of several weeks and hopefully months and beyond who work in the creative realm in some way. And that means creative entrepreneurs. That means, of course, knitters, crocheters, quilters, photographers, filmmakers, musicians, gardeners, all types of creative people. Really, I'm interested in hearing their stories, how they got to where they are, because creative people don't have a career track necessarily, but there's this really cool sort of community of people that all make their living being creative, or also just chosen to infuse creativity in their lives. So whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, or you just need a little creative inspiration, I hope you'll check it out. And if you like it, please, please, please go over to iTunes and rate it and review it. The way that they work, it's really important, especially in the first day and weeks of the podcast launching. It's really important that those ratings and reviews come through, because that's how they choose whether or not to feature us, so that listeners can find us, and then we can become new and notable. Hi, Karen. Karen Strom, who co-produced, or she was executive producer of Knitting Daily TV, is on there, and she's noticing that I'm wearing the alpaca shirt that we bought together for the shoot. So I totally got caught that I'm pulling out old wardrobe. But the truth is that I'm in Pilates clothes. The rest of it, you can't tell. Even though I never made it to Pilates, so I just threw a shirt on so I'd look halfway presentable. All right, so I'm almost done talking about Craftish, I promise, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what you can expect tomorrow. We are going to be launching with 3 episodes, so you can do kind of a mini binge listen. And then after that, I'll have an episode weekly for the next 6 or 8 weeks. And then from there, it really depends on you. If we're getting a lot of listeners, a lot of shares, then we'll continue weekly. If it's kind of just like, meh, then maybe we'll go bi-weekly, just because we have to hustle some gigs elsewhere. So this is a community effort, so please pitch in. The first day tomorrow, we're launching with Rachel Herron. She's a best-selling novelist. She writes knit literature. She writes romance novels. She writes relationship novels. She's a crazy smart woman and just an all-around great person. Also was a 911 dispatcher for years. She's so interesting and generous with her emotions. So I'm excited for you to to hear that interview. Then the second episode you'll be able to hear tomorrow is with the Spoonflower co-founder. I don't know if are any of you sewers out there or quilters or fabric lovers in general. Raise your hand. Stephen Fraser is going to be a guest, and he's going to be talking about launching the creative business that has become huge. There's not another website like Spoonflower out there where you can upload images and create your own fabric right there and print it out, and also wallpaper and gift wrap. So that was a really fun conversation. And then the last one that you'll be able to hear tomorrow is with the lovely and smart and now New York Times bestselling on the travel list author, Clara Parks. She's also the founder of Knitter's Review. So 3 solid episodes launching tomorrow. So go over to VickieHowell.com/craftish or just go to iTunes and please, please, please subscribe. And okay, I think that's all I have to say about that. All right, so Jewelfly says that I look like I'm feeling better today. I am feeling a little better today. Thank you. So this is what I've been working on recently. I've got more Creative Live classes coming up. I'm flying out to Seattle this month to shoot them. And so I'm prepping them. So there's going to be a Knitting 202 class, and I've just decided this week that it's going to be on socks, making socks. And so thanks to my best production stitcher, my mom, Libby Bailey, who came to visit me on her spring break, I now have a set of socks. We both knit on them, and then I just handed them off to her as I was working on step outs and for another project. So that'll go up in 3 weeks on Creative Live. It'll be Knitting Maker or Knit Maker 201. There'll also be a Crochet Maker 201, which will be hats. And then I'm doing a big sort of like oversized cardigan for crochet. This will be, see, I'm working on it right here. It's just a lighter weight variation of my Penny Arcade cardigan that you can still find everywhere on Pinterest. It was originally done in sheepish, which is kind of a worsted weight wool roving, and this is kind of a lighter weight, also merino wool, but it's spun differently, or rather it's twisted differently, a lot lighter weight, and it's a smaller gauge. So a nice little lightweight action for spring. So there's going to be a class on that as well. And then I'm doing 2 live classes on April 21st and April 23rd that you can RSVP for now on Creative Live. They're free for the live broadcast, and it's going to be Knit Maker skills and techniques and Crochet Maker skills and techniques. And that's just going to be kind of like a crash course on, you know, things like the provisional cast on or certain bind offs, just kind of a grab bag of stuff that that a knitter or crocheter might find handy to have in their little arsenal. For all my existing classes today, Monetize Your Craft is rebroadcasting. I think right now on Creative Live, so nab that, because that's I think when they rebroadcast it might even not cost any money. But my other classes, Knit Maker 101, Knit Maker 102, Crochet Maker 101, Crochet Maker 102, right now you can get for 25% off. Just use this code, Vickie25, until May 31st, and you can get 25% off. So check those out. Take those classes. The more you take them, the more that they will ask me to come back, the more that which means that I get to make a living, and I get to do what I love, which is be an encourager for you to get crafty. All right, so what I thought I would show you today is earlier we talked about the oval loom that's out by Clover. It's a sock loom. It's oval in shape, and then they've got this little stand. Those are the new, those are sort of the new features for the, you know, just your standard loom. And so what I thought I would do is I would show you how to do a knit to, purl to rib on the loom. Sound good? And then I'll come back and I'll scroll through and see if there's any last minute questions. And then I will bid you adieu so I can go work on stuff, a lot of stuff that needs to get done. Okay, so I'm going to do that not so fancy turnaround of the camera now and get you into place so that you can see the Clover oval sock loom. All right, hold on 1 second. All righty. So I have to kind of rig this so you can see. And let me see if I can get you even more light. better, worst, worse, better, whatever. Okay, so I've already worked a couple of, or probably 4 rows of knit 2, purl 2 rib on this loom. So the first thing that I want you to see, well, first I'm going to show you how, and then I'm going to show you how to figure out, if you forget where you are, what stitch to work next. So basically how to read the stitches. Let me move this other stuff out of the way so you're not distracted. There we go. Okay, so to knit a stitch on the loom, you're going to, I'm going to lift it up and not leave it on the stand just so that you get a better angle for the camera, but you could leave it on the table if you were using this at home. Okay, so you're going to take your little tool and you're going to, you'll notice that there's this little channel right here that gives you a place to scoop the yarn. So you're going to take the loop that's already on the peg and you're going to lift it over the strand. This is the working yarn, the yarn that's connected to the ball. You're going to take it and you're going to lift it over and let it drop off. And that's the knit stitch. That's all there is to it. So we're doing knit 2, purl 2, so that means the next stitch also has to be knit. So lift that over. Super easy, right? Like could not be any easier, right? Okay, so the purl is a little bit fussier, but totally doable. But lean in, let me show you. It's a little bit different. So instead of having the strand on top of the loop like you did for the knit stitch, you're going to put the strand under the loop. Then you're going to take your tool and you're going to kind of slide it through this inner channel right here and put it from the top down, put it in through the loop that's on the peg. Then you're going to take the tool and scoop that working yarn. Hold on, I'm looking at the camera and not at my work. On the working yarn, and you're going to pull up that loop. See, I've got live, so awesome. Okay, so now I have that loop. So now you want to take the old loop and slip it completely off. But you see that I have the new loop still on the tool. That one needs to go back on the peg. Okay, and that's a purl stitch. Let me do another one for you. I'm going from top, coming from the top. I'm going through that loop on the peg and scooping the working yarn. I've got that new loop. I keep the new loop on my curvy tool. It's probably not the technical name for it. I lift off the old stitch and then place the new stitch on the peg. And I actually use my tool to kind of make a huge loop just because there's less, see, because if that happens, I didn't lose anything. It's such a big loop, nothing happens. So that's kind of a safety for me. So then you put it back on and then you can pull it snug. Okay, so the next stitch would be a knit. So that means up and over, super simple. Up and over. And then we're ready for a purl. So I'm coming down. That yarn happens to be a color that's similar. I've scooped up the working yarn, so I let the old stitch drop off, and then I put the new stitch on. Okay, let me show you again. Scoop, and you can see that I have this big loop on my tool. Pull off the old stitch, place the new one on, and done. Okay, so let me show you how you know, like if you sit there and you know, walk away and you space out on what you need to do next, I want to show you what it looks like on the inside. So because we're looking at the back of the fabric, this is going to look like the opposite stitch it is. So you can see these two bars, or these two columns rather. If I were to pull it like this, let me turn it around so it's less confusing. If I turn it around, you can see, for the knitters amongst us, you can see that it looks like a really stretched out knit stitch. Well, this is the back of the fabric. So if it looks like this, that means that these stitches need to be purled. That's what the purl stitch looks like from this perspective. If they look like this, where they're just bars, you're not seeing those columns, that means that it's time to knit. Why is that? Because we're seeing the back of the fabric, so you're seeing the opposite of what it is. Let me show you the front of the fabric now. These are knit stitches, so you know you need to knit them. These are purl stitches, because you're looking at the front of the fabric. The other sort of like safety if you're doing rib, if you really forget, is you know that this is where you started and you can just count like 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and you can do that all the way around. So that's kind of a safety. And that's really all there is to it. It's pretty fun, actually. I wouldn't recommend trying it with cotton. I did that at first. I was super frustrated, but I realized it just didn't work well with that yarn. I'm working with just a straight up roving wool now, and it's super smooth and easy and fun. So I might turn that into a project for Clover this week. I will have a post of some form up on Wednesday on the Clover blog, so we'll have to check that out. I'm going to do a really quick scan for questions. Also, I wanted to take a second just to remind you, if you haven't already, We Garter Stitch, my latest book. It's super cute. Modern must-have knits for modern babies and kids is available for pre-order right now on Amazon, so check that out. And if you're going to be at Vogue Knitting Live in Pasadena in May, I'm going to be there promoting it. I'm going to do a wee baby fashion show. If you know anybody in Pasadena that has babies between 6 months and about like 18 months, 12 to 18 months, please give me a shout out and let me know. I need a handful of them. And also, if you're going to be there, I'm teaching a class on Sunday. It's a 2-part class on how to make the sweater that's in Knit Simple, the baby sweater. It's an all-in-one, knit in one piece, baby short sleeve sweater. I feel a little loserish right now because there's like 3 people signed up. So thank you so much to the 3 people who are signed up. But if you're interested at all in that class, please sign up or else they will cancel it. So you can find that at VogueKnittingLive.com. Okay. Somebody asked where you can get the Loom. The Loom is available on Clover's website, so I think that's Clover USA. And it's also going to be in craft stores everywhere. I'm just doing a quick scroll. I feel like there's something else big I wanted to tell you about. Oh, I know what it is. We are 1 week away. Tina's asking how to cast off. I will have to show you at another time because I don't want to cast off on that. But I will, I'll see what I can do. We are a week away until I have 4 kits. They're lunch hour knit kits, launching with Kitterly. I don't know if you know Kitterly, but they are this great startup company that has really just beautifully curated and put together knit and crochet kits. And I'm launching a series of 4 next Tuesday, April 12th. And they're all designed to be completely accessible for busy people like us so that you can make them in a week's or less worth of lunch hours. So I'm super excited about that, and I will post as soon as I have more information on that, about that. All right, I think that I don't see anything crucial here, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I will post all the information for the podcast and for the book and for the classes on the show notes. As always, thank you for hanging out with me on a Monday. Don't forget to tell people, share this if you know anybody who's interested in this sort of thing. And I will see you next week. Thanks for everything.